Have you ever found yourself lying awake at 3 a.m., your mind racing with thoughts that seem too deep for the average conversation? Do you catch yourself analyzing not just your own behaviors, but the subtle patterns in everyone around you? If you're nodding along, chances are you're an INFJ, and what I'm about to share might feel like someone's been reading your personal diary. Welcome back, beautiful souls. Today's video is going to be different, more personal, more raw, and definitely more revealing than our usual content. We're diving deep into the complex inner world of the INFJ mind, exploring those private thoughts that every INFJ has entertained, but rarely shares with others. Whether you're an INFJ yourself or trying to understand one, this journey into the depths of the INFJ psyche will be eye-opening. Before we dive in, let me set the scene. Imagine having a personality type so rare that only about 1 to 2% of the population shares your way of thinking. Now imagine carrying that uniqueness every day, processing the world in ways that others might find unusual or intense. That's the INFJ reality, and these are the thoughts that come with it. 1. Am I really this different from everyone else? This isn't just a passing thought for INFJ, it's a fundamental question that shapes their entire worldview. Picture sitting in a crowded cafe, observing people going about their day, and feeling like you're watching a movie where everyone else got the script except you. That's the INFJ experience. INFJ often find themselves noticing things that others seem to miss entirely. While friends might see a simple interaction between two strangers, an INFJ notices the subtle tension in their body language, the slight tremor in one's voice, and constructs entire narratives about their relationship dynamics. This depth of observation and analysis can feel both like a gift and a burden. The difference becomes even more apparent in group settings. While others might be enjoying the surface-level fun of a gathering, INFJ are often simultaneously processing the group dynamics, picking up on underlying emotions, and trying to figure out how to navigate the social environment without seeming too intense or too detached. 2. Why can't I just speak my mind like everyone else? The internal monologue of an INFJ is rich and complex, like a constantly running documentary complete with commentary, analysis, and deep insights. Yet when it comes to expressing these thoughts, it's as if someone hits the mute button. This isn't just ordinary introversion, it's a unique form of communication paralysis that stems from the INFJ perfectionist nature and fear of being misunderstood. In professional settings, INFJ often have brilliant ideas but struggle with the timing and delivery. They might spend entire meetings crafting the perfect way to express their thoughts, only to find the conversation has moved on by the time they feel ready to speak. This leads to a frustrating cycle of having valuable contributions but missing opportunities to share them. The challenge extends to personal relationships too. INFJ often find themselves having elaborate conversations in their heads, planning exactly how to express their feelings or concerns to loved ones. But when the moment arrives, the words can feel inadequate compared to the richness of their internal dialogue. 3. Is my intuition actually right, or am I just paranoid? The INFJ intuition is legendary in the Myers-Briggs world, but living with such strong intuitive abilities can feel like both a blessing and a curse. It's like having a radio that picks up frequencies others can't hear. Sometimes it's tuning into real signals, and other times it might be picking up static. INFJ often experience moments of clarity about situations or people that later prove to be accurate. They might sense when a friend's relationship is about to end before any obvious signs appear, or they might feel when a job opportunity isn't right, despite looking perfect on paper. The challenge comes in distinguishing between genuine intuitive insights and anxiety-driven overthinking. This internal struggle becomes particularly intense in important decision-making moments. An INFJ might strongly sense that a potential partner isn't being genuine, but without concrete evidence, they question whether they're just being overly cautious or letting past experiences cloud their judgment. 4. Do I care too much about everything? For INFJ, caring isn't just an emotion, it's a full-body, all-consuming experience. Imagine having an emotional antenna that's always set to maximum sensitivity, picking up not just the obvious signals but every minor fluctuation in the emotional atmosphere around you. When an INFJ reads about a crisis halfway across the world, they don't just acknowledge it, they feel it. They might spend hours researching solutions, donating to causes, or lying awake thinking about how they could make a difference. This intense empathy extends to personal relationships too. A A friend's minor setback becomes their concern, a family member's joy becomes their euphoria, and a stranger's struggle on the street can occupy their thoughts for days. The weight of this caring often manifests in practical ways, spending hours researching the most ethical companies before making simple purchases, feeling personally responsible for fixing other people's problems, becoming overwhelmed by news and world events, taking on others' emotional states like an emotional sponge, struggling to maintain boundaries when others need help. 5. Is my need for alone time making me a bad friend? This thought often hits INFJ hardest right after cancelling plans or during their much-needed solitude. It's like being caught between two equally powerful forces: the vital need for alone time to recharge and the genuine desire to maintain meaningful connections. Picture this: you've had a socially demanding week at work. Your energy reserves are depleted, and you know you need time alone to process and recharge. But you also have plans with friends you genuinely care about. The resulting internal dialogue goes something like this: I should go, they're important to me, and I don't want to let them down. But I'm so drained. If I go, I won't be present anyway. But if I cancel, will they think I don't value their friendship? Maybe I'm just not cut out for regular social interactions. This struggle is particularly challenging because INFJ need more recovery time than most other types. They feel deeply guilty about disappointing others. Their need for solitude can be hard to explain to more extroverted friends. They worry about being perceived as flaky or antisocial. The alone time they take is often spent worrying about taking alone time. 6. Why do I always have to be the counselor? Being the go-to person for emotional support and advice is deeply ingrained in the INFJ nature, but it comes with its own set of challenges and internal conflicts. Imagine being everyone's emotional safe haven while sometimes struggling to find your own. INFJ often find themselves in the role of unofficial therapist, with friends and even acquaintances naturally gravitating toward them for deep conversations and advice. While they usually excel at this role, thanks to their insight and empathy, there's often an underlying exhaustion and a series of questions that plague them. Do people only value me for my ability to listen and advise? When was the last time someone asked how I was really doing? Am I enabling dependency by always being available? Where do I draw the line between being supportive and being taken advantage of? 7. Am I living up to my potential? This might be one of the most persistent and challenging thoughts for INFJ. Given their idealistic nature and vision for how things could be, they often struggle with the gap between their aspirations and current reality. The INFJ mind constantly generates ideas and possibilities, solutions for social problems, creative projects that could impact others, ways to make meaningful change in their community, career paths that could fulfill their purpose. But alongside these visions comes the weight of responsibility and self-doubt. Am I doing enough with my capabilities? Should I be making a bigger difference in the world? What if I'm wasting my potential on the wrong path? How do I balance my idealistic goals with practical realities? 8. Why can't I just let go of past mistakes? The INFJ memory is like a high-definition video recorder that not only captures events but also stores all the associated emotions, implications, and possible alternative outcomes. This means that past mistakes don't just fade away, they become learning experiences that are revisited and reanalyzed, sometimes years after they occurred. Consider these common scenarios. Replaying a conversation from years ago and thinking of better responses. Feeling embarrassed about a minor social faux pas from childhood. Analyzing past decisions and their ripple effects. Carrying emotional weight from long-resolved conflicts. This tendency to hold onto the past isn't just about regret, it's about the INFJ deep desire to understand, learn, and avoid repeating mistakes. However, this can become a double-edged sword when it prevents them from moving forward or accepting their human imperfections. 9. Is there something wrong with how I connect with people? INFJ often experience relationships in extremes, either forming deep, meaningful connections or feeling completely out of sync with others. This binary nature of their relationships can lead to significant self-questioning. Why do I connect so deeply with some people instantly while feeling like I'm speaking a different language with others? Is there something wrong with my social radar? This manifests in various ways: struggling with small talk while craving deep conversations, having few close friends but intense, meaningful friendships, feeling exhausted by superficial social interactions, being told they're either too intense or too distant. 10. Will anyone ever really understand Maine? This final thought touches the core of the INFJ experience, the deep longing to be truly understood. It's not just about being known on a surface level, but being understood in all their complexity. Their need for both deep connection and solitude. Their practical side alongside their idealism. Their intense emotions behind their calm exterior. Their logical thinking alongside their intuitive insights. The search for understanding often feels like trying to explain colors to someone who sees in black and white. INFJ might find people who understand parts of them, but finding someone who comprehends the whole package can feel like an endless quest. This longing for understanding often leads to selective sharing of their true selves, a tendency to adapt their behavior to match others' expectations, a deep appreciation for those rare moments of genuine connection, a continuous search for kindred spirits. A final message to INFJ: embracing your authentic self. As we wrap up this deep dive into the INFJ mind, let's take a moment to reflect on what all these thoughts really mean. These aren't just random musings, they're the building blocks of one of the most complex and fascinating personality types out there. Understanding your worth. Remember this: your tendency to think deeply isn't overthinking, it's thorough processing. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's advanced emotional intelligence. Your need for alone time isn't antisocial, it's essential self-care. These aren't flaws in your character, they're features of your unique design. And the power of your perspective. Think about it: your ability to see beneath the surface, to understand complex emotional dynamics, and to connect seemingly unrelated dots isn't just useful, it's extraordinary. In a world that often prioritizes quick decisions and surface-level interactions, your depth brings a much-needed perspective. A message about your struggles to the INFJ, who's feeling overwhelmed by their own intensity. Your feelings are valid. Your experiences are real. Your perspective matters. Your sensitivity is a gift. Your intuition is valuable. Looking forward. As you continue your journey. 1. Trust your intuition more. It's usually right. 2. Set boundaries without guilt, they're necessary. 3. Share your insights, the world needs them. 4. Take your alone time, it's how you recharge. 5. Embrace your complexity, it's your superpower. And the bigger picture. Every thought we've explored today, from questioning your differences to wondering if anyone will truly understand you, these are all part of the INFJ growth process. They're not signs that something's wrong with you, they're indicators that you're exactly who you're meant to be. Your place in the world. Yes, being an INFJ can feel lonely sometimes. Yes, it can seem like you're the only one who sees the world the way you do. But remember this: your unique perspective isn't just valuable, it's essential. In a world that often feels too fast, too shallow, and too disconnected, your depth, insight, and genuine care for others make a real difference. Moving forward. As you leave this video, I want you to try something. Instead of questioning your differences, celebrate them. Instead of doubting your intuition, honor it. Instead of apologizing for your depth, embrace it. Call to action. To our INFJ viewers, share your experiences in the comments below. Connect with other INFJ who understand. Take comfort in knowing you're not alone. Remember that your complexity is your strength. Being an INFJ isn't always easy, but it's always meaningful. Your way of experiencing the world might be different, but that difference is exactly what makes you valuable. Keep thinking deeply, feeling intensely, and caring profoundly. The world needs more of what INFJ naturally bring. And remember, somewhere out there, another INFJ is having these exact same thoughts, feeling these same feelings, and wondering if anyone else understands. You're not alone in your uniqueness, you're part of a small but mighty tribe of deep thinkers and genuine feelers who make the world a more understanding, insightful place. Until next time, keep embracing your INFJ nature. Your complexity isn't too much, it's exactly enough. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with any INFJ in your life who might need to hear this message. Until next time, keep shining your beautiful INFJ light on the world.